Thank you very much. Thank you. I just say a few words in Farsi. سلام عرض میکنم خدمت همه شما. قبل از اینکه صحبتام به زبان انگلیسی ادامه بدم، یاد میکنم از محمد مهدی کرمی، از محمد حسینی که بیرحمانه 2 روز پیش توسط جمهوری اسلامی به قتل رسیدن. پاسخ همه این خونریزی ها رو خواهند داد. یاد میکنم از مهدی محمودیان، بهار هدایت و بسیاری دیگه که الان در زندان هستند فقط به خاطر شمع روشن کردن برای PS 752. همه شما رو به یاد میاریم و تلاش خواهیم کرد تا پایانی بگذاریم بر جمهوری اسلامی ایران. 3 years passed. Do you remember how they lied to the world? Do you remember how they used everything in their power to distort the truth? Do you remember how they used every means they had in their disposal, inside Iran and abroad, in the media and on social media, to further their narrative of technical failures or human error? Do you remember how they held the black boxes hostage for 7 months, while international organizations such as the ICAO stood idly by in silent complacency? Do you remember their attempt at a so-called technical report that was infested with lies and misdirection, designed to bewilder and confuse? Do you remember their outrageous messages of congratulations to us for the martyrdom of our loved ones? You must remember their show trials these recent days that are putting salt over the wounds of the grieving families. And you must remember that we, the families of victims of Flight PS752, stand resolute and determined no matter what the odds, no matter how hopeless our journey. 3 years have passed that seem to us like a lifetime. It took a long time for everyone to understand that the Islamic Republic regime is nothing but a mafia gang, a tyrannical state that produces nothing but terrorism, repression, and injustice. The world must understand that they have no place in the international community, and most importantly, they do not represent the great people of Iran. It need not have taken 44 years of endless crimes for the world to learn that somewhere in the Middle East, instead of a free and democratic country, a gang of murderous thugs are ruling over their people. When Mahsa Amini was murdered, Iran and its people rose to voice the grief and rage that has been burning in them for 44 years. Since then, over 500 more innocent lives have been taken by the regime to prove that Mahsa Amini's death was an accident. Thousands more are suffering unbearable, inhumane conditions in prisons throughout Iran. 4 young men have been executed for blocking traffic in protests and burning garbage containers on the streets. Many more are facing imminent execution for similar acts of defiance that are labeled by the regime as corruption on earth. But Iran is not silent and shall not be silenced. Since the murder of Mahsa, the voices of Iranians resonate throughout the world. The united voice that calls woman, life, freedom echoes in Iran's beautiful mountain ranges and touches every human being around the world. The bright light of hope stretches through the beautiful steppes of Iran and warms every Iranian's heart that beats full of determination to put an end to the tyranny called the Islamic Republic. We, the members of the Association of Families of Flight PS752, are part of this revolution, inspired this spirit behind the chant, woman, life, freedom. We are part of this revolution and stand united until victory for Iran. We thank the governments of the 4 affected countries, Canada, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, and Sweden, who have helped to pave the way to bringing the criminals to the International Court of Justice in The Hague. We know all too well how difficult and complex this legal process is, but we remain confident that on June 28, 2023, this file will be opened in the Hague Court and the rotting Islamic Republic regime will face justice. The grieving families of the victims of Flight PS752 are comforted that the leaders of Canada, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, and Sweden stand with us on the right side of history. We expect the governments of the affected countries to continue to stand with us and show to the world that justice will only be achieved with the truth. Justice, 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 an aspiration that we have fought for every step of the way during this difficult 3 years, and we shall not relent in our cause. The road to justice must be paved on one step at a time. We continue to demand that the RCMP open formal domestic criminal investigations into the downing of Flight PS752. We ask the Government of Canada to once and for all list the entirety of the nefarious Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. We ask that the legal obstacles be dealt with and the IRGC be put in a place where it belongs. We ask the Government of Canada to immediately expel from this country Farhad Parvarish, the regime representative to the IKO. Someone who has collaborated with Qasem Soleimani and the Quds Force does not deserve to live in a free and democratic country. We ask the Canadian government to identify the remaining oligarchs and operatives of the Islamic Republic as soon as possible and remove them from this country. Do with them what was necessary to be done with Putin's oligarchs. If Putin and Lukashenko have faced targeted sanctions by Canada, Ali Khamenei must also join them at the list. Three years have passed, and we are still alive and fighting. We live for a dream of freedom and justice in Iran. We live to see the day that Iran's children will grow up in a safe, peaceful country, and every Iranian can enjoy prosperity in a free and democratic Iran. We live for a day that the women and girls are free to decide how they live, what they wear, and where to travel to. We live for the day that those behind so many horrendous crimes will be tried in a free and fair court of law. We live for the day that freedom, social justice, equality, and respect for the environment become the real aspirations of our people, and the day that we continue to live for is one without the Islamic Republic and the criminals who rule that beautiful country. Despite our pain, we remain alive because we know that ultimately justice prevails. We will never forget, nor shall we ever forget. Thank you very much.